Hey listeners, it's E.J. Miller, writer, creator, producer, and editor here at Fast Food Horror. I just want to take a minute out and apologize for this episode being late. The sump pump went in the studio next to ours and flooded our studio area. It delayed our recording and producing and editing, thus delaying this episode by at least a week. So again, thank you for being patient. And now, your favorite MC, Igor Frodrick. Igor, take it away.
Thank you, EJ, for that delightful introduction. I'm only thankful I have a coffin that doubled as a canoe when the basement and dungeon flooded. Now, for this week's tale, entitled The Crow by E.J. Miller.
Do not friend a crow. I know it's the latest trend on all the social medias, and it seems fun. If you're looking for something to kill time or a hobby that's cheap and easy with no real expectations, if you're seeking a pet with no responsibilities, if you're in search of companionship because you're lonely, if you're a content creator with hopes of videos to go viral and all the likes and new followers you'll get, it checks all the boxes. It's fantastic. It's great. I warn you, though, it's not worth it. Take it from someone that's learned the hard way. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. They only show the highlights, the cute little moments, the cool clips. They do not tell you about the problems it could cause, the headaches it may bring, the stress it will impart, the loss, the nightmare of a life that may unfold. Let my tale be a warning. I saw a few reels of people friending crows a few months ago. Videos of these beautiful midnight feathered creatures slowly becoming more trusting of their human counterparts, every day inching closer together until the crow was eating out of the person's hand or perched upon their shoulder, waiting outside their window for their human, flying over to them when they called. Then the gift started. You see, a crow is a very loyal and intelligent animal, and once it has given you its trust, it wants to reciprocate for the kindness the person has shown it. So it brings gifts to its human friend, small items it finds here or there, whatever strikes its fancy that it can fit in its beak or claws and fly to you. It might be a ribbon, or a coin. It might be a button, or, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? It seemed to be easy enough. I figured this would be a fun summertime activity while I enjoyed my vacation. Each day after my morning run, I would relax with a coffee out on the back porch. There is a power line that runs along the rear of my yard, and as luck would have it, a regular perching place for birds of all kinds. I planned to just wait until a crow would appear. Then I would start lobbing sunflower seeds until I got one of their attentions. That crow would then become the focal point of my friendly seed throwing until I gained its trust, get it to move closer and closer, day after day, show it that I am not a threat. Then, presto! Crow buddy! The first 3 days were not productive in my crow endeavor. Crowdever? I sat outside for an hour after my run, enjoying my coffee each day, listening to my favorite acid horror podcast, Gray Matter, and waited for a crow. On the morning of day 4, a few were waiting for me there on the power line as I settled in with my morning coffee. I started tossing sunflower seeds below their position and started making cawing sounds. I'm not sure why. I saw each in turn tilt their head to look at the sunflower seeds now scattered below them and caw in return, either to each other or in my direction, In retrospect, I don't think I was speaking their language as much as they were laughing at whatever I was saying, cawing. One by one, they each took turns swooping down from their position and picking up a few pieces of the pro-offered sunflower seed, then flew back to their position on the power line. This went on for about 20 minutes before all 4 flew off. For the next 8 days, this little exchange went on, until on the 9th day, one crow stayed on the ground looking for more seeds, as its 3 friends flew off. I started gently tossing more seeds to this one, always making sure my aim fell slightly short so it would get him to move closer. Day by day we did this dance. Its friends would fly off, and this stately fellow would fly back down looking for more, hopping ever so much closer as I short-armed again and again the seeds he sought, until on the 15th day he was comfortably at my feet. I won't bother you with the rest of the details, only that by day 21 he was eating out of my hand, and by day 26 would perch on my shoulder to receive his extra seeds. We were Crow Bros. On day 24 the gift started, the foundation of my problems. When I stepped out onto the back porch, Pancho, that's what I named him, was waiting for me on the armrest of my chair. I watched as he placed a coin on the arm of the chair, then eagerly waited for his morning seeds. I walked over and picked up the pro-offered gift, a wheat penny, an unexpected bonus of a collectible coin. I sat in my chair as I worked the penny in one hand and handed seeds to Pancho, seated on my shoulder, with the other. I wondered where he found this little gem. The next 8 days were more of the same. Pancho would be waiting for me each morning on the arm of my chair, a gift clasped in his beak. One day it was a pink hair bow. The next it was a glossy enamel button, a star earring. Then it was a cheap pair of red heart shades, followed by a plastic ring. Then a retainer. I had put all my new treasures into a shoebox and placed it high on a shelf in the den. The 9th day was a Saturday. I was going out of town with my wife for a wedding, and we left Friday evening after she got out of work. Never thinking twice about Pancho, really, other than he'd be fine. He was a wild animal. He lived outside. What did he really need me for? We returned late Monday night, and after unloading the car after a fun but exhausting weekend of friends and family, and went right to bed. Early Tuesday morning, I was woken by a shrill scream. I sat straight up in bed in a sleep-hazed panic, finding my wife was not there. Another scream pealed through the house that set my hairs on the back of my neck on end. I sprinted from the bedroom, calling my wife's name. Where was she? What was wrong? A cold sweat broke out across my brow as fear sat firmly on my chest. After a panicked search through the house, I found her on the back porch. She was okay, but shaken, physically trembling, her gaze fixed on my chair and Pancho. My gaze followed hers to Pancho and the chair. There Pancho sat expectantly on the armrest, 4 gifts splayed out in front of him, one for Saturday, one for Sunday, one for Monday, and one for this morning. I do not know in what order they were deposited, but I will tell you in the order of horror that they brought me. On the armrest of the chair was a human tooth that appeared to have been broken at the root with a metallic filling, a sky-blue eye with the long tendons still dangling from its base, a pinky finger that showed signs of having been gnawed off, and a bracelet with the name Sarah spelled out in bright pink and purple beads. Nausea overwhelmed me, and I let loose whatever was still in my stomach across the porch floor. My wife immediately called the cops as I tried to collect myself, and that's how I got here.
Lights out.
You see, there had been a missing teenager in the area. 3 of the last 4 items, the tooth, the eye, and the finger, were forensically identified as hers. They didn't believe me that a crow happened to bring them to my back porch. That was enough to bring me under suspicion. It also triggered a search warrant. In the search, the police found the shoebox of gifts Pancho had previously given. All were identified as Sarah's, the teenage girl who was missing. Her name, if you remember, was spelled out on the bracelet. Again, police didn't believe my Pancho story. And then the final kick. A few days after I was taken in, Sarah's body was found in a wooded area, just yards off a jogging trail, not far from my home. The jogging trail I had been seen visiting regularly by neighbors and joggers alike, daily, every morning, for weeks. My GPS watch and the dirt on my sneakers didn't help me either. All placed me at the body. My life fell apart after that. I was convicted by a jury of my peers and sentenced to 15 years in a state correctional facility. Being placed at the scene and having items from the body in my home was enough to sway the jury and enough to sway my wife. She left me after she sold the house and disposed of all my physical belongings. I don't know where she is, and I have not spoken to her since. My friends and family likewise also wrote me off. I am the pariah. No one wants to admit to having known me or have anything to do with me. All because of that bird. Pancho. Pancho is the reason I am here. If not for him, I'd be free, enjoying life and sipping coffee on my back porch, visiting my favorite jogging trail every morning. One thing bothers me, though. Pancho. How did he know? How did he know to bring me those items? I mean, those specific items. It's like he knew that I was actually responsible for her death. He still visits me here in prison, daily, every morning, tapping at the window outside my cell, cawing at me, laughing at me. I only hope that damn bird doesn't find the other bodies.